Good morning, boys and girls. I couldn't help but notice that Valentine's Day is, well, just about right around the corner. And I'm really looking forward to these social media posts where the husbands, the boyfriends, even the sons are apologizing to their wife, mother, or girlfriend that they're going to say, "Oh, how lucky I am to have you in my life." I can see the posts coming in now. Tanner Smith is celebrating Valentine's Day with Becky Brown Smith, because Becky's going to hyphenate her name because she's not doesn't want to take his last name. She wants to have her last name and his last name, and she wants it to be known. But anyways, it's going to be Tanner Smith is celebrating Valentine's Day with Becky Brown Smith at such and such restaurant or such and such place or whatever. And then he's going to post her. He's going to confess how lucky he is to have her in his life, how much she means to him, and that she is his rock, and blah 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 blah. Just completely apologizing to her, pretty much downgrading himself as a man by sitting there doing this stuff. And guys are gonna do this. Valentine's Day is essentially the holiday of simping. And I did a Google search of just out of curiosity, how much money do men spend on Valentine's Day? I get a couple different answers, and it says the average person spends around $175.45 each Valentine's Day, with men spending twice as much on average than women, $235 versus $119. That tells you right there, men are, and that's a true example of simping right there. They're willing to spend double than what the women are willing to spend on their husbands, boyfriends, or mothers on Valentine's Day. It just goes to show you who appreciates who the most in that situation. And when in reality, if you want to give your wife, girlfriend, or whatever a great Valentine's Day gift, as a man, the best gift you can give her is to continue being the man that she met, whether it be weeks ago, months ago, or years ago. If she deemed you were Chad enough back however long ago, you should continue being that Chad. That would be the best Valentine's Day gift you could ever give your wife or your girlfriend. And so what we usually see is a lot of people are getting comfortable in their marriages, in relationships, to where now it's like, I've got the girl, I'm done. I can essentially be lazy. And then when the holidays come around, I can sit there and confess my love for her, or confess how lucky I am that she's in my life, when it should be the other way around. She should be feeling lucky to have you in her life. Because if she sees you as a top shelf man, yeah, she's going to be lucky to be in your life because you allowed her in there, you allowed her in her frame, and she, complies with, she essentially wants to be in your life, not the other way around. It shouldn't be you want to be in her life. Because when you think about it, men add more value in a relationship than women do. I mean, yeah, granted, it's an equal playing field, but when you look at the foundation of relationships, men are success objects to women, and women are beauty objects to men. And ideally, when you think of that, men bring more to the table than women do. I mean, yeah, you can sit there and say, well, women have degrees and education, they've got careers, jobs, whatever. I mean, they're out there breaking the glass ceiling in corporate America, or what have you. But still, it's men who lay the foundation of society. And so when you sit there and you go through social media on Valentine's Day, you're going to read how many guys are literally confessing their feelings. They're simping their significant other, their wife, girlfriend, or mother on social media. Um, yeah, it's been kind of slow video producing for me. I have had a lot of, well, not a whole lot, but family medical issues contend, not with myself. I mean, I'm as fit as a horse. I've had, my dad's been in the hospital for the last 3 months. He just got out yesterday. So my brother and I split the trip and got him back home to where he's supposed to be. And after spending 3 months in the hospital, So that's done and over. Um, I was in the gym this morning, so I think today I'm kind of taking a lazy day, other than like I said, other than going to the gym. I also bought a brand new Humminbird Helix 9 down imaging sonar, all the bells and whistles fish finder that I've been installing in my boat. You know, one thing about Nebraska weather is if you don't like it today, or if you don't like it right now, give it time. It'll change in the next hour or the next day. But we've been lucky. We've had a good week of in the 50s and 60s. So I got out there in the garage and got after it. Got that. It's mostly done. I did pick up a uh, a base to put the head unit on at Cabela's yesterday. So I'll probably go out to I'll go to work, and then when I'm done working for a couple of days, I'll probably install that base on the dash, and then hopefully get the head unit installed. But all the transducer and the electrical is all done. I can plug that fish finder in right now and power it on and essentially use it. You know, if I want to hold it in my lap or something. But no, it's mostly done. So I've been pretty busy here last, since the holidays. So I'm kind of slow getting content out. But let's talk about cheating. You know, we hear so many variations that men will just go out and cheat. Men can go out and do whatever they want and blah blah blah. Well, yes and no. And to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, when we look at because there's a big difference. It's a night and day difference why men and women cheat on each other. And it just goes back to what I said earlier in the episode here that women see men as success objects and men see women as beauty objects. Okay, well, what does that have to do with cheating? Well, it has a lot to do with cheating. Um, for a man has to become, and a woman just is. So what's that mean? Men historically and still today, I mean, yeah, you look at how fat and lazy men have gotten and how they don't want to work. Well, that's true today, but there are still men out there that want to go to work. They want to chase excellence. They want to put a dent in the universe. They want to work hard. They want to make good money. They want to live a life they want to live. And when a woman is vetting a man, she's vetting him for his future, not his past. She wants to know what this guy is capable of doing. Can he make good money? Is he capable of holding a good job? Now I know a lot of guys will say, "Oh, you got to make at least $100,000 and have this, and this." Well, yeah, that's great. That's additional perks, but I'm going to kind of be a little more conservative with it. Yeah, there are a lot of things women are going to be sticklers on, and a lot of things I've heard women say is that a guy should be at least 6 feet taller. I mean I think that's a general consensus with a lot of women when they look for guys. They want a man that's over 6 feet tall. Not all women are like that, but a good majority are like that. And for men, what they look for in a woman, they don't vet women for their degrees. They don't vet women for their careers, their jobs. They vet women for youth and beauty, meaning is she thin, fit? Is she friendly? Can she have fun? Is she faithful? As the 5 F's I go by is fit, friendly, feminine, faithful, and fun. Simple as that. As men, we're easier to please than women are. If you show up on date on time, you're not fat or obese, you're friendly. I mean, you can hold a good conversation, you like to laugh, you enjoy our company. And if we do in a relationship, you're faithful. Hey, that's great. And with that being said, now I have to hold up my end of the bargain. So my half of the equation is I need to be successful. I need to have my shit together. I need to have my own place to live. I need to have my own transportation. Um, Interesting hobbies because guys, really, you can do anything you want to a woman but bore her. Don't get in a position where bore her. Then that's where she starts straying. And for the women, when your husband or boyfriend starts straying, you might have put on extra weight. You might have gained 10, 15, 20 pounds. You might have gotten more bitchier as the years progress. You might not like to have as much fun as you used to have. When I say fun, I don't mean like go out and hit at the bars and clubs, shake your ass every weekend. I mean, there are people that like to do that, men and women both. There are guys and gals that go out together and they hit the bars and hit the clubs and they have a great time. But the kind of fun I'm talking about is, do you like to travel? Do you like to um, go to the movies? Do you like to go out to dinner? Do you like to, I mean, even relax on a weeknight or a weekend night, stuff like that. I mean, you're not just sitting around and watching the paint dry in your living room. You're actually doing something constructive, and that could be a lot of things. That could be going on a bicycle ride. That could be going to the gym and working out together. That's all. That's stuff that's not boring. What I mean by boring is you sit home and as a man, you've got ESPN on. You're watching the highlights from the football games or the basketball games. You're sitting on the couch drinking beer, getting fat while she's sitting there next to you. On social media, she might be seeking attention from other guys. Okay. And then that's where she strays from you. She doesn't see you as an interesting um, man anymore. She doesn't see you as the most interesting man in the world. She sees you as essentially a boat anchor. You're there and fixture on the couch. And so she'll start straying. And for women, it's a lot easier to start that next, relationship with another guy. It's easier for her to go out there and cheat because women are truly never single. And so all she's got to do is go to her DMs and on social media, and then there's a simp in there or a guy in there that she deems as chat enough that she might want to pursue a little extramarital fling on the side. And same with guys. If your wife has put on weight or your girlfriend's put on weight or she's gotten bitchy and she's disrespectful to you, he's gonna probably want to stray too. And I'm guilty of that. When I was married, um, last 3 to 5 years, I kind of strayed outside my marriage because I wasn't getting what I wanted at home. So I went outside the marriage. And I know it's bad. It's something that you shouldn't do, but I've tried addressing these concerns with the wife back then and she never wanted to talk about it. So it kind of led me to make my choice. And what's interesting about what I just said about myself in my marriage is that when my soon to be ex-wife was, because she was calling telling people, her family, oh, Brian and I we decided to divorce because he would, what he wasn't getting at home, he was going out and getting it elsewhere. And she pretty much confessed to why our marriage failed. And I mean, it's very unfortunate, but it happened. And so we both have moved on with our lives. And so, but when you look at, it's easy to argue men and women cheat for the same reasons, but in reality, it's different. You take a guy, for example, if he's making $100,000 a year, he's got his life in order. And he's happily married. I've seen situations out there where guys have, due to a change in industry regulations or workplace policy, that color blindness was an issue in certain industries across America. And so they were not immediately, but you have to go some businesses were requiring you to take a color vision or would take a vision test. And then if they deemed you were colorblind and you were automatically disabled, you couldn't do the job. They deemed you couldn't do the job today that you were did a great job doing yesterday and well before. And so a lot of guys lost a pretty good paycheck. You lose a, 100 to $125,000 a year job. And now you're on disability well before you're able to retire. You're looking at about a 50% cut, and And all of a sudden you got a wife that's sitting there, wait a minute, this isn't going to work for me anymore. And so I've known a few instances where women have their wives have bounced because like, well, wait a minute, you were making this much money yesterday, and now you're telling me you're gonna go on disability. Well, how are we gonna pay our bills? How are we gonna, so the panic mode sets in on her part, and she's like, well, and of course the easy solution for a woman is to just bail on that guy. And that's what's happened. I've known a handful of instances where that has exactly happened here in my little community, where guys have gotten disabled because they were colorblind, and then all of a sudden the wife is like, no, this ain't gonna work for me. And so they go out and they, put the, well, I'm not happy no more, or they go out and they start, because of hypergamy, they start going out and they're like, well, shit, now I'm gonna start. Now the hypergamous radar is turned on, and all of a sudden they're out there looking for the next best option because you're not it no more. You're not it. So you took a cut and pay. Like I said, not all women are like this, guys. There are good women out there that will stand beside their man, and you know, especially when he needs that support the most. There are women out there that will stand by their guy, and those are great women. But unfortunately, those kinds of women are few and far between. But I've known more women than not that have bailed on their husbands because of a cut in income, a reduced income. So, like I said, guys, there's a huge difference between when women cheat and when men cheat. They're two separate things. Again, women cheat on men based on, um, men are success objects to women. So you got to make good money. You got to be in good shape. You got to be 6 feet tall or taller. You got to have interesting hobbies. You can, like I said, guys, you can do anything you want to a woman but bore her. The second she feels bored in your relationship, she's out. Okay. So if you're living $100,000 lifestyle, now you got to be reduced to a $75,000 lifestyle. There's a good chance she's gonna bail. Okay, and she'll start planning her exit. She may not leave you right away, but mentally she has checked out. It's like, oh crap, I cannot live. I cannot continue my $100,000 a year dreams on a $75,000 income. So she'll start planning her exit. And when guys cheat on their wives, it's usually based on, did she put on extra weight? Is she gotten bitchy? Has the sex died off? Is she withholding sex? Is she, and really for guys, the list is short. When you look at women as beauty objects, what would make a guy cheat on his wife? Let's say you were married for 15, 20 years. Yeah, she's not the same looking woman that you married 15 years ago. Yeah, she's gonna age. Her appearance is gonna change over the years, but it doesn't give her an excuse to get fat and bitchy and withhold sex and be a Debbie Downer, and disrespect you. And that's why men would cheat on their wives or girlfriends, is because they either got fat, they're bitchy, they're withholding sex, they're just not pleasant people to be around. So they're two different things. And so think about that, guys, when you're sitting at home watching ESPN and catching up on game highlights on the weekends and not doing nothing. And your wife starts going out, she starts dressing up, she starts putting on that little red dress that you bought her in hopes that she'd wear that for you. But no, she slips that little red dress on, does her hair, makeup, and she's out the door. Girls' nights out. There's where it begins. Well, he's just a friend. And same with you girls. If you've put on weight, you've gotten bitchy, you've gotten disrespectful, and your guy's like, oh, hey, babe, I'm gonna go out and hang out with the guys, and your husband's out there at the club or whatever, at the golf club, at the VFW or whatever, and you might find a nice, much more attractive younger model to hit on. So think about that. I think that's all I got today, boys and girls. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. Toodles.